Water. Oh, water. Toilet paper. Toilet paper. Welcome back, Hacks Maniacs. In a disaster or doo-doo hits the fan situation, one of the first things you'll have to worry about is having clean drinking water. You know, since without it, you'll die. And if you drink contaminated water, you'll die, or at least get diarrhea or dysentery, in which case you could die. 2 million people around the world die every year from waterborne diseases. You can have all the cool prepper gear you want, but if you don't plan for water purification, you will most likely die in a major disaster. And if you wait until the last minute to plan for such an event, you're gonna be fighting the horde for what's left. And if your plan is to rely on someone else to come save you, I suggest you read a history book. Now, I know not everyone can spend a bunch of money on high-dollar water purifiers, so today I'm gonna show you 5 ways to filter and purify water for every budget, including free, so you don't die. This is a LifeStraw, price about $15 to $20. Inside the case here is a hollow fiber membrane, and that's what does all the purification. LifeStraw says it removes 99.99999% of bacteria and parasites, and it lasts for 1,000 gallons. It's nice and compact and easy to carry, but let me show you its major disadvantage. You have to get extremely close to your water source. Not only is that inconvenient, but it could be dangerous. There's no telling what's lurking in these waters. Oh, crikey, that's a big Sheila. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You could collect your water in a container and then use the LifeStraw. That's kind of a hassle. And then there's kind of a touchy subject. What if you only have one LifeStraw and multiple people? There's a high risk for the proliferation of cooties. Bruh. Yeah, well, all this is all fine and good, but I want to see what the inside of this thing looks like. Let's get out this high precision cutting instrument. This isn't really working on the end. I'm just going to cut down the length of it. I want to see what that hollow fiber membrane looks like. Oh, it's just a bunch of shoelaces. Okay, all right. Cut a little bit lower, see if I can get in there better. Ta-da! You can see there where all these ends were attached, and then whenever I cut them trying to get in there, they actually tear pretty easily. Let's see if I can kind of stretch it. It feels a little bit rubbery, but it doesn't really stretch before it breaks. But apparently these all have tiny little microscopic holes in them. You can see there where it's attached at the end. Interesting. So the LifeStraw is a paradox. It's both convenient and inconvenient. But I say, you know what? It's just cheap enough and simple enough that it's worth having a couple around. This is the Pura Bag. Nice and compact, easy to store, price $45, and it holds 2.5 gallons of water. I can explain how this works, but instead, I'd rather show you.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
We're gonna head to the swamp, and I'm gonna try to avoid any copper-headed rattle moccasins and swamp chickens. I would say this is probably some water that you don't want to drink, okay? So let's get this thing going. First, I've got a little slide and then a little clamp. I'm gonna take off those in my pocket and try not to lose them. Then all we do, oh, I just let water in my boot. That's a bummer. I'm just gonna open up the end of the bag and get some water in there. I'm a little wigged out because there's alligators out right now because of all the rain we've been getting. That's not dirty enough. Let's see what we can do with this. Next, we put in one of these packets of P&G water purifier. There it goes. I'm gonna fold that over. And then this little slider clamp, just gonna keep it closed. Then you shake it for 5 minutes. Find a conveniently located branch and hang it on the branch, let it set for 30 minutes. Guys, while that does its magic right over here somewhere, let me tell you about something very near and dear to my stomach. Green Chef. Green Chef is a CCOF certified organic company. They have options for every lifestyle: keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, fast and fit, Mediterranean, and gluten-free. Now, while we try to be as self-sufficient as possible, we also stay crazy busy making these videos. So doorstep delivery gives us a reprieve and allows us to skip the grocery store, which I hate going to. Did someone say sriracha tamari beef bowls? And did I say that right? I don't know, but let's see what's inside. How about that? First step on the recipe card calls for water. The pre-portioned ingredients and pre-made sauces make cooking fast and easy, even for an idiot like me. We're gonna need a bigger pot. Because you Hacks Maniacs are so awesome, you can use my code HACKSMAN135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes, plus free shipping on your first box. Go to greenchef.com for more details, and I'll put a link in the description below. That's amazing! The packet does all the purification, and the bag helps with moving all of the solids down to the bottom of the bag. I got so many. That's a lot of gook. Oh, geez. Stupid. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. What you would normally do then, if I had not just released it all, twist that bag like that. Put this clamp on. And then that allows you to release all the solids. So that's actually still super yellow. And when I first saw this bag on Battle Box channel, so I'm gonna do what they did and I'm gonna add a second packet. I think it's probably a mosquito larva. And that, I believe, is a sea monkey. But he ain't dead, I can tell you that. The Pure Bag has had 2 30-minute purification cycles. Let's see what it looks like. Can't say that it looks refreshing, but depending on your situation, it might would. And then there's the solids at the bottom. There is still some larvae in here swimming around, so it definitely doesn't kill that. There's at least 3 mosquito larvae, and I don't know what happened to our sea monkey. So right off the bat, the whole deal with this is that what Pure Bag claims, and I'm not knocking them because, you know, it has its purpose. You are supposed to spin this, twist it, and when you twist it, you're limiting, it says, the recontamination. Well, all that stuff is sitting right there in the bottom. So when you spin it, it just kind of shoots back up. Let's clean that out. Take the clamp off, whatever those solids are, they're still in there. Now the Pure Bag does have a carbon filter on it, so I'm hoping that that will kind of keep the rest of that mess in there. I'm gonna release a little bit of that out of there to kind of clean that out. All right, let's see what she looks like. So I'm guessing because that carbon filter is why it pours so slowly, but that's fine. There's the water out of it. Not bad. Clearly the carbon filter does the job at the end. I don't see anything floating around in there. Bottoms up. I don't want to drink too much of it in case it doesn't work. But I can say that tasted like tap water. I mean, that was perfectly fine. No weird taste at all. No mosquito larvae. Now, the thing is, Pure Bag does not, they don't have any of the 99.99% claims on their website. They just say that it meets the World Health Organization standard for safe drinking water. And I mean, if you can't trust the who can you trust, right? Right? If you see this video, I'm still alive.
So guys, this is really hard for me to do, but after drinking that water, Adam didn't make it to the bathroom in time.
Get it! This is the gold standard of water purifiers, the Berkey gravity-fed water filter. Price, $350 to $1,000.
Holy crap!
This particular one, I think, is about $450. Now that's a lot of money for a water filter, but it's cheaper than a visit to the hospital. Now, if you're in a situation where you want to have constant clean water on a daily basis, you know, not just an emergency, then the Berkey is excellent for you. Here's the heart of the Berkey system, the black Berkey purification filter. It removes pathogens, pharmaceuticals, viruses, heavy metals, and over 200 other contaminants from water. These filters last for 3,000 gallons. You just fill the upper container and gravity does the rest. I think all the Berkeys come with 2 filters, but you can add 2 more to make them filter faster. And the water just seeps through the filters and drips into the lower container, free of all the contaminants, but still containing the good minerals. These filters even remove over 99.9% of gasoline, diesel, mineral spirits, and other petroleum pollutants. As you can see, I have 2 filters in my Berkey, and then there's an extra 2 holes for other filters if you want to add them, but mine just have plugs in them right now. You can get a stand for these, but we just set them on the edge of our sink. And then once it's done dripping through, there's your clean water. Hey, have you ever wondered what the inside of an $80 water filter looks like? Me too. I sure hope there's no metal in here, because this is gonna be interesting if there is. Normally this is where I'd put an explosion jump scare just to mess with you, but I'll skip it. Sorry, couldn't help myself. As you can see, very simple here. The water seeps in through the outside into this inner chamber and then just kind of works its way out through that tube. Yeah, and it's not very strong without being fully connected. Very interesting. You're thinking, Adam, that is exactly what I need, but I don't want to put out that kind of money. Well, let not your heart be troubled, friend. Check these out. Oh yeah. 100% Berkey knockoffs. How well do they work? Well, they claim to work exactly the same as Berkey pretty much. You know, the whole 99.99999% thing. How much are they? $33 for 2 of them. Compare that to $179 for 2 replacement Berkey black filters. Combine those with 2 food grade buckets with food grade lids that I purchased at the local hardware store, along with a spigot. Now, I happen to pick a stainless steel spigot, but you can also get plastic ones. $33 for the filters, $16 for the buckets and lids, $10 for the spigot. For less than 60 bucks, you got a water purifier. Take your first bucket, put it down. First lid, put it on the bucket. Bucket. Second bucket, 3/8 inch drill bit. 3/8 inch drill bit. Let me try that again. You got a hole there, and you have 2 holes corresponding on the lid. Figure out where you want your spigot, and you want it pretty low. I've got a 3/4 inch hole saw. Super easy to attach that spigot now. You do have to prime these, just like you do the Berkeys. They come with this little gasket here that goes on the threaded spout, and then you put that on your faucet and it forces the water into it and out of it, and it kind of cleans out that initial, I guess, the charcoal or carbon or whatever it is that's in the filter. Put the filter in the top bucket through the other lid. Repeat with the second one. Let's say you got an off-grid cabin, and maybe you get your water from a shallow well like this one that I dug. Let's see how it works. First off, I can tell you that I've got a bad leather valve here. I've got to replace, you can hear it. All right, it looks clear when it's coming out, but as you can see, it is not clear. You wouldn't want to drink that water just like that. That's going to take a little while to drip down into the bottom bucket, so I'll come back and check on this in a little bit. Guys, this next method might be a little controversial. It might even be an inconvenient truth in the sense that it's free, abundant, and available everywhere. And there's science to back it up. It doesn't remove chemicals or heavy metals though. It basically does everything boiling your water does. It kills bacteria, protozoa, worms, and viruses. All you need is a giant ball of hot plasma heated by nuclear fusion reactions in its core, radiating the energy as light, ultraviolet, and infrared radiation. Exposing water to sunlight for 6 hours kills viruses and other microbiological threats. Do keep in mind though that it has to be in a clear container so the ultraviolet light can pass through. Now the only downside to this, of course, is you will have to find a random clear container to collect your water in. Oh, look! What are the chances? You're probably going to want to filter that maybe with a t-shirt that you tear up to get those solids out of there before you start drinking. Now don't think if you find water in a puddle that it's safe to drink as it is because the sunlight's hitting it. That's not true. It is in constant contact with whatever may be contaminating it to begin with. So you're still going to want to put it in a clean container and then expose it to the sunlight for 6 hours just to make sure it's safe. This has been filtering for a little while. Let's see how it looks. That looks like clear, clean water to me. 5 minutes to DIY, $300 saved, and you got some serious purification power. Hey, do you want to know another cool trick water can do? Watch this video right here and I'll show you how water can help preserve your fuel for emergencies, save your small engines, and make sure you're not stranded in an emergency.